Today I went to a wedding ceremony and I met a couple of friends. Some were mates in school, some were just other friends in the community. And one of them asked a very interesting question. In fact, this was the first time of getting that question. I've received that question about 2 times. So we had interaction around that. And I started to share with you so that you could learn. Because a lot of beginners are wondering as to what to do. He told me that they have a well at home. The well is not being used, and there's water in the well, and there's one single catfish inside that well that has grown too big. And he thought that he could use that well to produce fish. He asked me whether that is possible. In fact, I will not say that it is impossible. I told him that is possible, but that is will be very difficult and that will not be ideal. I will explain that to you. My name is Abdul. If you are new to this channel, I have a bachelor degree in development education, but I've been a fish farmer for about 4 years now. And I've been teaching people on how to grow their fish. And personally, I provide the services in fish farming. So I have the experience, and that's why I'm giving you this video. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please do so because all we do in the channel to share fish farming tips based on our experience and research. Now, let's come to think of this. If you are familiar with the pond aquaculture or the pond farm, we simply keep the fish in the pond where there's water. Now, in there, you feed the fish, and ideally, you observe how they react to the feed, and mostly that's what we call the farm management, because their reaction to the feed tells about the health status and other parameters. Now, you also check the water, because once in a while, the feces and leftover feed is making the water dirty, and you change the water. By opening the outlet, the water moves out, you put in fresh water, and the fish are thriving. I'm leading to something, so please keep watching. Now, even if you are having flotation irrigation system, all is connected through the pond. So if there's a well, we all know well is dark, deep under. So now, if there's water inside, and assume that you can put fish inside, that's fine. So I asked my brother, that's my friend who asked that question. So now, if you put water inside there, the feces and the leftover feed will get the water dirty, and you have to change it. I said, the fish, they also remove feces or they defecate. I said, why not? But you know they eat. He said, yes. I said, if they eat and it digests, what will happen? They have to release it. And he asked me, so the fish in the natural water bodies, the water is just clean and there are fish there. So why not the feces dirty the water too? I said, well, there's natural purification in that well, in that natural water bodies because the sun under it filters those waste, not only from fish. When you look at the natural water body, there are a lot of aquatic organisms inside, and most of them or all of them they defecate. So the under sun filters it, it goes under. But here the case, the amount of space that is in the well cannot do that. So definitely there will be time that the water will be dirty and you have to. Look at even item pond, which mimics the natural. If you observe the item pond, if you don't have liner, it also filters naturally. However, the water to when it keeps going, it will get too thick at a particular time where you have to change it. Even though that one you don't change it frequently like the normal natural ponds. But now, if that's the case, and in the well, it gets to a time, it gets to a time that you have to change the water. How do you change it? That's where the issue comes. Also, if you are giving them feed, the well is deep and they're inside there. How do you determine whether the fish are eating or not? And whether the feed that you give them is enough or not? Let's put that aside. When a fish is dead, it comes out and floats, and you pick it out. And the well is deep. The fish are there. If there's a dead fish, how do you know? It will only get to a time that the entire house is smelling. Then you know that your fish are dead. Probably you check and all of them are dead in the pond. So I told him, I will not say it is not possible. So it is possible, but it is difficult or close to impossible. So I can say that I would not recommend that way. Now, what would I recommend instead? I would recommend that yes, the well you think is not being used, but why not put a pond, tarpaulin or concrete or plastic, whichever pond, then fetch the water from the well and feed the fish. I mean, give it to the fish to live in. As simple as that. And you are free from these challenges. One woman last asked me about that. She has a well in the house and tap water. So I recommend using the well. Then she invited me to install the pond system. So I want to install 1,000 capacity farm. Then, do you know the funny thing? She has two daughters. So she called the two daughters to use basin and to fetch the water manual. Just use bucket, put it in, fetch it manual into the basin, carry it and pour it in the pot. I told her, Madam, if you're going to do this, you will need weeks to be able to fetch water that can keep the fish. Look, if you see how big, for instance, the tarpaulin pot, the 1,000 capacity, it needs to contain 10,000 liters of water or above before it can take 1,000 fish. Now, 10,000 liters of water. Do you know the amount of water? And to use a basin, fetch water manual to fill it up. I don't say it's not possible, but it is very difficult. So I told him that that cannot work. So the best thing is to get a pump to pump the water from the well into the pond. Now, when I even told her for now to connect the pipe water and fetch, we connected the pipe, the water was draining in. And hours time, the water was still at the feet level. I asked Madam, you see, look at that long time, look at where the water is so. Assuming you have to use basins or things to fill the water manual to put in there. It will have taken you weeks to be able to get to fill. And few days time, it will be dirty again. You will drain it, you fetch again. You will not have anything to do again, just to be fetching water, putting it, changing. So the best is to use pump to pump it, and that is fine. Now, if you have learned something and you have been inspired, you can subscribe to this channel. It's at your own liberty. But it will be good if you do so because we share fish things based on our experience. So you learn through that. If you also want, we have courses and other materials in the description. You can check that out, learn, and we are good to go. Thank you so much for watching. Please share this video and let it reach more fish farmers and let's grow our fish together. My name once again is Abdulaziz Issa. This is Faako Aquaponics. I will see you in my next video. Watch the video in the end screen. Bye bye.